This is your temporal lobe in the yellow, okay, this lateral side. The reason why tinnitus comes from this area is that we have our auditory cortex in this temporal lobe. That means every sound that we hear, the only way we hear it is if those neurons in that temporal lobe fire to create the sound. Okay. Billions, trillions of neurons, right? And they each respond to this little pitch, and then they come together to create the sound of my voice right now, the very specific sound. But there are billions, trillions of neurons firing just to create the sound of my voice, okay? When neurons get unhealthy, okay, before they die off, what happens is they spontaneously fire, okay? When they spontaneously fire, it's creating a sound, and you're hearing a sound, and it's more maddening. Now, it's bothersome when people have tinnitus coming from an actual issue from the ear, like let's say blast injury, and they're around like a lot of guns and things like, or loud machinery. They can damage the external portion of the ear. This is a peripheral apparatus, the ear. The information from your vestibular cochlear nerve goes peripherally and then it fires centrally. There's billions and trillions of pathways centrally that relay the messages of your vestibular system and your cochlear system hearing, all right? Okay. There's a higher probability of things getting damaged centrally in the brain because there's more complexity compared to the ear. But you do have people with the ear. People who have the ear issues as the consequence or as a reason for tinnitus, there's a little less suffering involved. They hear the ringing, it's kind of like, it is what it is. People that have tinnitus and there's huge suffering and there's anxiety and you cannot sleep, like the second you told me that, it's almost guaranteed that it's coming from the brain for you. Now that we measure, and I'm looking at your eyes and your eyes are having constant square wave jerks, we know for sure that's square wave jerks are coming from your temporal lobe, okay? We know there's high frequency of square wave jerks when you have lesions within that temporal lobe. So it's all indicating that you're having issues centrally in the brain, which is causing the tinnitus, causing the suffering, also the reason why you have decreased sense of smell that's coming from the temporal lobe.